Welcome back everyone, welcome back to video on, what's this, part 3 of the X2. It's going to be just a general cleaning and getting sorted on the paint job. We also need to get to the bottom of the drivetrain error that's come up on the iDrive. So we're just going to look at that. This has been recorded a good few weeks ago, and since then, yeah, it's not good at all for rain. We are, what are we? Well, if you're watching this, it's about the 25th, 26th of September, and it hasn't stopped raining for days. And because of that, can't really do a huge amount. So this is sort of pre-recorded from a couple of weeks ago. And yeah, content is sort of drying up a bit because the rain's just not been kind at all. If you bear with me, I'll show you. When I say this is just wet, and it's just awful. It's just awful. So yeah, yeah, it's X2 video, and it was good times when we had good weather. So let's cross over, and I'll show you what I've done to it so far. So paintwork on the front, need to start that. It's obviously various parts that we need to sort out. I'm doing a tester patch on the front here, and I've already started sanding that back through the grip ranges to get that smooth. I'm gonna just wait for it to just dry off a bit, and then we're gonna mask it up and start the primer on it. But yeah, this is just the test area to make sure or see that the paint that I've been given matches what needs to be. So yeah, fingers crossed that will all work out all right. I don't want to really bore you too much with the process, but yeah, we're just gonna see how we get on. So this paint job is 2 coats. So effectively it's like a flat white, and then it then asks to apply which I've done obviously 3 coats on, and then it looks like we then need to apply to give it like that sort of metallic-y sort of frozen colour. So yeah, that's where we're at. So we'll just try and apply that and hope, yeah, that it's gonna work. But as I say, this is a bit like a tester really, just to see how we get on. Okay, so now we've done the bottom there, I am going to try here. So I've just masked it up for the minute, or I'm in the process of masking it up. Then we're going to start sanding it back. I kind of figure there's some good lines here that we'll be able to take that to. Then we're just going to do all of that as well, and then we're just going to see, hopefully, that it all blends in. So just going to get the sander on it now. Yeah, let's do this. We're all masked up, ready for primer. Oh God, it's so much pressure actually to get this right. Just hoping that it goes on and it doesn't start cracking and bubbling. So yeah, hopefully we're just going to take it to about here, then feather it out, but we're going to have to do all the way up to the top. Oh, okay, right, pressure's on. Let's get the primer on. Right, how are we doing? 2 coats in on the first coat. Don't think that's too bad at the moment. Again, it seems to blend pretty well. But yeah, so we've got one more coat of this. Then we've got what appears to be the second coat, which I'm still not 100% sure even what the second coat can is. It feels like it's like a lacquer, but I don't know, it's not. Oh well. Right, give that another few minutes and then we'll go for round 3. Okay, we're sitting in the X2, and as you know from the first video, it popped up on here that there was a drivetrain issue as an error code. So I decided to take it for a drive and see how we got on. And from the driving experience, there is absolutely, let's just say, from my limited knowledge of an X2, there's nothing wrong. There's plenty of power. Yeah, didn't really notice any issues. So we are going to plug in my OBD port, and we're going to get up my BMW app, and we're going to see what the code is. We're going to try and clear the code and see what happens, and then work out whether or not we have an issue that needs to be sorted, or whether it was something that just needed clearing. So we'll plug that into down there, and then I'll put on the app. So let's have a look. Right, so multi-ECU, read errors. Let's have a look at what it's producing. 40 sleep mode, emergency cooler, sunroof, camera system. Clutch transmissible torque too low, clutch damage, clutch transmissible torque, information engine switch off too short, ignition on, stability, more. What is going on? Tell you what, let's just clear it, shall we? Let's see what we're at. I don't know what this is. Causes warning lamps, that's good. Right, so we've cleared that. Okay, now bear with me. Okay, so if we go into here, I don't know if it's cleared those down. So it has cleared those down. So we've got nothing showing at the moment. Interesting. I tell you what, let's shut the car off. I know the boot's open, bonnet's open. Let's shut the car off and see if it develops anything again. Right, okay. We'll let all of this just shut off, and then we'll work out what we're going to do. Hopefully there's nothing to do. I think I might have to put the battery on charge though, because it talks about battery discharge. I hate that word. God, I can't stand it. Right. Are we gonna shut down this? Let me just tell you what, I'll open the door. Right, now let's put the ignition on. Oh, sorry, I forget. Even though you turn the engine off with BMW, you then have to turn off the ignition. Right, okay, so let's start that again. Range 6 miles. Yeah, we know we'll do as oil service. I'm going to start it. See if it develops anything. Okay. So far, that may have cleared it, but until maybe we drive it, then we need to see whether or not that's gone. Which I can't do now because the missus is blocking me in. So potential for some good news on the horizon. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Okay, the next job is I want the other half to feel that she hasn't bought a complete rubbish car. So we are going to clean the interior. I say clean it. I'm just going to do our very best. Let me just get the key. Open it up. So I'm gonna just work on this. We're gonna hoover it, and then I'm gonna get the wet vac out. These aren't too bad, I don't feel, but I think maybe we're just gonna need a wet vac on those as well. And then we're just gonna give it a little polish inside, freshen it up a bit with everything in here and down here. So the weather at the moment is nice. However, in the last few days we've had just continuous torrential rain, so therefore apparently I'm going to get some within the hour, so I need to get shifting on this, get shifting and do what I can do today. Put these back. Do what I can do today, and then we need to start working on painting as well. But yeah, right. Enough of the jibber jabber. Let's get it on. Right, the clouds are turning in. I think it is meant to be a big downpour shortly. So I've done a quick going over. The camera makes it look not so good, but actually we've just got to see, we've got to let these dry and then see where we're at with them. Actually need to do a bit up here. That's quite dirty, isn't it? Unfortunately the Bissell has ended its time. As you can see, we've lost, something snapped on the head. It's completely, yeah. I think I've gone through 2 of these now, which is annoying. I don't know if I need a whole new pipe. I'm not really sure whether I can change. Anyway, I'm not going to bore you with that. It's unfortunate, but it certainly looks a lot better, that's for sure. And then we need to work on the plastics. There's a set of, so the mats that were in here were not even, they were crap. They were Audi A3 convertible mats, so that's great. So I'm looking at the moment on eBay, and there's a pair coming up shortly, later today, an official X2 pair. So yeah, we're going to try and bid for those, and then yeah, we just need to scrub away at these plastics now and make that look a lot better as well. I find it's actually quite difficult to clean these, but we'll give it a shot. Okay, so we've given this a spruce inside now. Clean the vents, just generally got a nice smell to it. Yeah, so it's come up all right. It's still obviously got to wait for those seats to dry, but yeah, it's not too bad at all, really. I mean, it is a 2019 card. It has been, I think it's had a fair share of people in it. It's not like some Fiat 500s where no one uses the back seat. So, yeah. But I think that is going to be the internal cleaning done on the car. While I've got you, it's quite interesting how this car's been put together after this cat write-off business. Things that I've noticed since, yeah, bit amateur. So we're missing all of the torque screws for the lock. However, strangely, it all sits in place still. We're also missing that, which is a bit annoying there. But yeah, missing those, and missing one in here. So strangely, that's a bit strange. Yeah, I think I might have highlighted that was loose, but I've going to tighten that shortly. Incidentally, this car was based in Luton. That's where it's come from. That's the owner. So yeah, still quietly confident I could pull that one out, but with regards to the dent people, I think it's not going to be 100% perfect. I'm hoping that will pull out. It's a crease there, isn't it? That's the problem. This, although it's got a clip in, it's not actually clipping into the hole, as you can see. which is, I don't know if that's because the wing's slightly bent. In here, some of the brackets are broken on the headlight lens, so you can see here, in there, that headlight bracket is bent, which means that this has got quite a bit of movement on it, as you can see. And you can see that that gets a lot of condensation in it. So it is halogen. Whether or not I replace it is another thing. And then here we're actually missing a bolt for that in there, for that bracket as well, although there's very little movement. I have cleaned the engine bag. Could probably do with another going over, to be honest with you, but it's a lot better than it was. Yeah, and I can't clip. I've tried clipping this back in and it's not quite having it either at the moment, so I need to come up with another plan. So yeah, that is where we're at. I'll come back to you when we're working on our next part of the car. Right, so little addition. This is exciting times, everyone. Picked up official X2 mats, so none of this cheaper quality stuff. And they just needed a wet vac, which is what I've done. Picked those up for a tenner on eBay because they were on an auction rather than a buy it now, and 10 quid for official BMW mats is pretty good going. So yeah, they've come up. There's obviously going to be a bit of wear as you get, don't you? But yeah, these go on Velcro, by the way. In most BMWs they Velcro in rather than clipping. So yeah, we're going to add those in today, put those into the bottom, and yeah, we are nearly done. These are all dry now with days on now, and they're all pretty good to go. So yeah, let's go and put them in. Let's have a look. Exciting times for this car, let me tell you. So they're nicely in, looking good. I'm quite happy with that. I'm quite happy with just how clean the inside of this interior is. So yeah, it will. The only thing that keeps coming up saying battery discharge. God, I hate that word. Battery discharge, please start. So I think the battery is not performing great, but then it's been probably started and stopped like continuously since it's sort of been Copart. So put that on with the C-Tech, as you can see there. So I'm just going to let that just do its thing. I don't know how long that's going to be, if I'm being truthfully honest with you. But yeah, so just going to let that just relax. And yeah, then we need to start. The next thing is to start working on, I think what I'm going to do, in order to test the paint, I'm going to work down here first. Need to get that, and then, because that's a good place to start to make sure that this paint's going to work properly, then we're going to have to then work out the rest of the car and what we're going to do to it. So yeah, yeah. Anyway, right, let's leave that in for a bit, and we'll lock it up. There we go. Right, a bit more done on the car. So we fast forward back again to this very cold and wet day, and I've finished the painting and the spraying on the car. That has been lacquered. I've just not cleaned up the rest of the car, haven't put back the trim bits. There's a tiny bit of like overspray which I've just got to get off, as you can see there. Yeah, we just got to give this all a proper clean, and if I'm being honest, I'm probably gonna wet sand it just to make it just to polish it up. I don't think the colour match is too bad, and obviously bear in mind that the car hasn't been cleaned, so you've got a very wet panel. What did I say wet for? You've got a very dirty panel, and then you've got a very clean panel, so it's not come out too bad in the end, I don't think. The two stages is basically a white, as I found out, is a white undercoat followed by a second it's almost like a slightly lacquered coat of different colours to give it that frozen look. But I spoke to Paints for You, and they were like, yeah, a lot of colours are now two stage, and then you then lacquer it on top. So I've done that. I've done the bottom there. This is the only part that I've got to do now, which is on this corner here, which is taking a bit of a pounding. So I've got to work on that as and when the weather is better. So yeah, and then finally I've had a quote on this door here, one quote so far. They want to fill it and then respray the side just to match, and I think it was about 360, something like that, I think. Yeah, so I'm going to just see whether or not I can get a few more on it. I'm not going to attempt to do it, certainly not up here. I just want it to look a bit more professional. It's a shame because you could get a door, but then, which would be a lot cheaper, but with a door you then come potentially a colour mismatch, and it just starts getting griefy. So right, I'm just going to hide under here for a minute. So still can't drive it. The DVLA are I say they're messing around. I put in the V62 form to get it put into my name and get it taxed. They've come back and demanding £25 for the Cat S, so that's just delayed the car. So yeah, otherwise we're not too bad on it. I obviously need to test when we look back at that footage, and you can see where we've got the error codes and talking about clutch wear. I need to drive this properly, give it a good old run to work out, one, whether or not the issue comes back, and two, whether we do have any real problems with the clutch. From my initial driving, I didn't think we did, but we need to drive it for longer, I think. Anyway, that is the X2 for you. I'm going to go back inside because it is cold, and yeah, we'll be back again very soon with some more videos. Thank you all again, and if you're still watching now, just hit that like button, really helps, and I'll speak to you all again very soon.